Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let's Eat Orlando with Amy, Drew, and Biggie. I'm Biggie, and
I'm Amy Scher.
welcome to another show. We thought we talk something a little bit more, I guess, generic, or at least a little bit more general topic. And just recently, I got to see Amy Drew. She came by and visited me while I was doing a pop-up.
It was so hot out. Can we just talk? It's like 97 degrees out today or something like that. I don't remember it being like, I know we live in Florida, but I feel like it's getting hotter.
No, it is definitely getting hotter, and it was disgustingly hot. I don't think nothing could cool me down. I drank everything from Liquid IV to all those things. It was just absolutely horrible. And at the same time, one of the things that I brought up to you, and I don't know why I even brought it up, but I started talking about like, hey, was there anything nostalgic or anything like any kind of treats or candies that you enjoy or enjoyed as a kid? And I thought, Amy, Drew, and I started kind of rambling off on it. So I kind of was like, this would be a great show topic because I think everyone always has some form of treat or snack or candy that they've either enjoyed as a kid or enjoy as an adult. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit about that today. So with that started, I'll ask the first question, I guess.
Well, we went on a hunt. You can just say that we went on a little bit of a hunt today.
We did.
We're off today. It's a weekend holiday day and we're running around and we sort of went on assignment. And so I went looking for candy that, nostalgic candy just in my runnings around. And I also went looking for snack cakes. And I am sort of disappointed to report I don't buy these things really. But I went to Wawa and there was Tasty Cake and there was Entenmann's and there was Little Debbie and there was just nothing there were Twinkies. That was the only thing that I recognized really.
From Hostess.
Yeah, I was even looking for like a Hostess fruit pie would have made me go, oh, I'll buy that. But nope, nothing. Racks and racks of just stuff I don't want.
I think, let's go. So there's a few things to that, I think, because I think one of the things I've noticed as well is obviously through the years, these things have become not individually. Like as a kid, you and I remember going to like a corner store,
yes,
and being able to just get off the convenience store
like a little 2-packs. It was like a rack. It was usually by the register.
Like a 2-pack of anything, of Twinkies or something like that, and that was our
pies, ring dings, all those things,
all the good stuff, and it tasted and I loved it. It was always a treat, and I always liked it. Now, when you go in, like I went to Walmart neighborhood market because I was like, okay, I want to see what they have, and they have these things, but they sell them obviously in large boxes. You can't actually get them individually wrapped. There's also not, a lot of the things that I used to enjoy eating are no longer exist.
I'm crushed. I didn't know that. I mean, I feel like if I went to Publix, like, did Yodels disappear? Like, are they gone? I don't think they're gone. I feel like I've seen them recently, but back in the day, that was my favorite, was Yodels. And back when I was a kid, they came individually wrapped in foil.
Was it in 2-pack or was it individually?
Well, in the 2-pack, they were foil, I think. And then in the box, and like the larger box that you would buy for your house, they were individually wrapped in foil. Yeah. I had a friend who used to put them in the freezer. She liked to freeze them.
And what's funny is the Yodel, and you and I that was one of the things you and I kind of talked about, was because like Swiss cake rolls are technically kind of like a Yodel, but they're not a Yodel.
No, just no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all I know that the Little Debbie people grew up with Little Debbie, but it's just inferior. It just is.
So I actually, one of the things
you can feel the sugar in that. Like you can feel it on your teeth.
In the Swiss cake rolls,
in the creams, on all of them, like, because I look at those things, or at least back in the day when I ate more stuff like that, I would look at like the oatmeal cream pie and think that looks really good, and then I'd taste it and it was just not good.
Well, and I mean, good. I think that's kind of the one thing
when I was a kid.
But that's kind of one of the things that I've kind of learned, because there are certain things as a kid, and obviously there's some evolution to it in the sense of how they produce it, how they make it, more the caloric, who knows if it's caloric ingredients, but there's definitely a shift, because I remember there were times when I used to like, you know, as a parent, you're like, oh my gosh, you got to try this. I used to love this. And then when you get it and you go eat it, you're like, oh my God, like I like that. Like how did either my taste buds changed or why does it taste, this tastes horrible. I was like, I don't want to eat
find
this.
that with Entenmann's chocolate donuts. I used to love
Okay.
those plain frosted chocolate frosted donuts, and I don't think that like they taste waxy now. Whenever I've had them in years as an adult,
Yeah.
like post 30, I've been like, did they not make these the same anymore? They just don't taste the way I remember them.
They probably don't. I mean, I know I had a Twinkie and I actually bought a Twinkie just for the show to have, but I remember eating it the last time and then going, this does not taste what I thought it tasted like. And it's funny because when I started researching about the Twinkie, now I'm like, okay, now I know why I didn't really like it, because it's got the same kind of chemicals that they put on like the the part that sticks. The part that sticks to the bottom of the cardboard,
right?
It literally is like almost like an adhesive, and the adhesive is very similar to the one that they put in envelopes. Like the more I read that, I was like,
at least you won't get a paper cut eating a Twinkie.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy what it is. But I will say I kind of went through. I started going through, and I was like, okay, I figure we may want to break this down. Kind of maybe go talk a little bit of some candies and sweet candies, and then maybe talk a little bit about like the cakes or like the treats and break it down and kind of talk like. So were there anything like any particular like candies? Like, are you more of a sugar? Are you more of a chocolate or more of a fruity, like, you know, gummy bear type person, or a chocolate base?
What are you? More of a chocolate person for sure, but that doesn't mean that I don't like any of the other stuff. I do like some of it, but I lean more towards the chocolate for sure.
So what was, as a kid, what was your go-to chocolate bar? Like, did you have a go-to chocolate candy?
When I was little, I mean, this was like elementary school. Yeah. There was a chocolate bar called a marathon bar. And it was basically just caramel braided, like in a long, skinny, like Charleston chew length bar, hammered flat, like a braid of caramel covered in chocolate.
Oh, that sounds good.
When you bit it, it would like stretch because it was caramelly.
Yeah, and I remember we talked about this. It wasn't around
for a very long time, but I think, and if I had had time today, I would have looked this up. I think there's a chocolate bar in the UK that's very similar to that they still make. It doesn't have the same name, but I think that there is one, and I can't remember the name of it.
But it was
so good.
What makes me laugh is because when you did like the long pull and caramel, it made me that we've talked in the past that you didn't have braces as a kid, so therefore that would have been something that I never would have been able to have as a kid with braces.
Yeah, I didn't, but
to be able to have that.
This was out before I would have even had braces.
Yeah.
I was like, I had baby teeth when this was out. You know.
What? So do you have?
Yes, there was a time when I had baby teeth. There was
so did I. What do you have a go-to? Did you have, or do you like? I don't know how much sweets you eat now. Like, if you had to go with like a candy bar now, what's a candy bar or candy
like what
that you
do
have now?
Steal out of the Halloween candy?
Yeah. What's your Halloween candy grab
I
mini
would say
that you
my
eat?
two favorites, like the real rarity, the diamond, is like the Score bar or the what's the other one? That's like a toffee bar.
What's a Score bar?
Yeah, I guess they don't make Score bars. They still make something. What is the other version? I can't think of it. What's it called? It used to be, there were two of them. I guess Score went out of business. Like Drake's, woe is me.
Score bar.
It's like a toffee, chocolate covered toffee. There's another one that they still make. You have your phone. Look it up.
You have your phone.
Mine's charging on the other side of the room. So that's
what is the name of this?
It's like a toffee chocolate bar. I can't think of what it's. If you put in Score bar, you'll probably get the other one. SKOR. It was called
Heath Bar.
Heath Bars. Thank you. Yes, Heath Bar is the diamond. Grab in the candy. Beyond that, I like Twix. That's like the candy bar that they still make that I like.
Okay, Twix.
Every now and then I'll see whatchamacallits out there, and I'm like, oh my God, what do you call it? A whatchamacallit. Remember the commercial?
It's funny. That's actually one of my bars. Those
are good. I haven't eaten one of those in 25 years or more.
I would have had one, but Walmart had only sold them in 8 packs, and I was like, I don't want to buy 8 of them. I just wanted to try one because I think that one had rice in it. It's almost like a Rice Krispie,
right? But it's
a better version.
Butter.
It's a better version than a Crunch bar because it's got a Crunch bar because it had peanut butter and caramel and the rice. Yeah,
Yeah,
that one was good.
that's a good one. And those were around, like, I think from when I was in middle school or so,
Yep, and they're
maybe.
still around now.
Yep.
My favorites, I tend to be, it's weird because I tend to be very like I don't know, I'm more generic in that aspect. Like I love my all-time favorite candies, M&Ms. These are my favorite plain M&Ms.
There's
I'll eat
nothing
peanut.
wrong with that. I like the peanut ones.
Super good. I originally during the Millennium, like when we were gonna hit the 2000s or whatever, the Millennium, I sent a message to, and I sent them, I said, here's my idea. I want you to do M&M Millennium mix. And I wanted it to be plain and peanut M's in one bag. That's what I wanted. They make a version of it now, but it's like they do plain peanut and peanut butter, I think is what it is. And they call it like a mega mix or whatever. But that's what I wanted. I wanted the Millennium mix, peanut and because I think I like peanut and I like plain and I like them mixed. And that's what that's like a usual go-to. Some other candy bars that I've liked as a kid or ate. Whatchamacallit was definitely one of them.
Do you remember the Reggie?
I don't remember what's in a Reggie
bar was
that's based
deal.
on the Reggie Jackson, right?
Reggie
the baseball
Jackson
player
had him like swinging the bat on it was basically just a giant like turtle. I think it was like it was one round blob of chocolate caramel peanuts.
Nice. Okay.
And it was really good. I mean, nothing wrong with that.
No, that sounds delicious. And it came
in like a square package, the Reggie bar.
In a square package.
Those were good. And now they make, it's called 100 grand.
Yes.
But when I was a kid, that was called $100,000 bar. Like it was all spelled out. Yeah. They changed the name somewhere along the line. I don't know where they changed it to 100 grand. It's the same thing.
I do like 100 grand. I usually will get those. They come in and they're broken them up in two. So I guess 250 pieces.
If you look it up on YouTube, they have like the old commercials and you can see
really?
It's called the $100,000 bar. Yeah.
Those are some of the things. So like, those are some that I feel like you can, if you were to eat one now, they would probably bring you back to have the similar tastes to those. You know, obviously I do like a Twix. I do like a Milky Way. Sometimes I'll eat a Three Musketeer. Like that's kind of what I usually go with. I'll have a Snickers bar.
My mom. That's her favorite. Three Musketeers was her favorite. Yeah.
What about a Kit Kat? You like a Kit Kat?
I like a Kit Kat. Yes, I like Kit Kats. Yeah. Definitely. That's another one that I would steal out of the Halloween candy for sure.
I tend to be more the chocolate one than the sweet. I do definitely know that for me, like if I when in doubt, I'd always pick like Flipz, like the chocolate covered pretzels.
Oh, chocolate covered. I like those peanut butter pretzels. Those are the best. Peanut butter filled pretzels. I do not. I only buy those like once, every 10. I buy those. It's like game over. I can't. I'll be popping those until the whole, the barrel is gone or whatever you buy.
So I'm actually surprised.
There's no Trader Joe's near me.
Yeah, they do make good ones there.
They have crazy amounts of candy that I want to try. All that high-end chocolate.
Yes.
Covered whatever. They have like all kinds of crazy chocolate covered everything there.
The chocolate covered espresso beans are awesome.
That when I go to Peterbrook, that's my trail mix. It's
really
it's dark chocolate covered espresso beans and dark chocolate covered raisins.
Nice. Okay.
And I put them together, and that's like when I mix the bag myself. That's what I get.
I like that. What I'm surprised you have not said, because I know it's a favorite. It's a favorite in my household. I end up buying this for every holiday season because they make a holiday version of it. Reese's peanut butter cups. Not a Reese's peanut butter cup person.
No, I love chocolate and peanut butter, but I don't particularly care for Reese's. Don't really like the peanut butter in there.
Yeah, it's in my house. I pretty much have to. I do it because it's like guaranteed. Like my wife and daughter think that each one of them tastes different. Like they taste different. Like the bells taste different. The Christmas trees taste different. And so we always have them. I
just never eat those, but yeah. Like. I was with like a year ago, it was a couple of years ago, plus somebody gave me peanut butter cups. They were dark chocolate, I think, from
Trader Joe's.
I think they were from Peterbrook. They were like loose, they were sold from a candy shop and they were amazing. So it's not that I don't like peanut butter cups. I just don't particularly care for Reese's.
I wonder if it's so. I noticed that I tend to be a Hershey's person. Like that's when I laugh because sometimes I'm like, some people love Godiva. I'll just have a Hershey's Kiss or a Hershey's bar and I'd be perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
I'm perfectly fine when it comes to that. What when it comes to cookies, out of curiosity, do you have like a go-to cookie or thing that you usually go with?
I don't know, cookies. I mean, I like Girl Scout cookies. I mean, I have favorites.
What
I
are your
like
favorites of the Girl Scout?
I go back and forth. I like the peanut butter sandwiches,
Okay.
which are really good. It's basically, I think it's like an oatmeal cookie with peanut butter in the middle. They're
Okay.
so good. I think they might be the most fattening Girl Scout
That's why
cookie.
they're the best.
Don't quote me, but and I love Samoas, which down here are called Caramel Delights for
Mhm.
some reason. They have regional names, but whatever. I grew up with them as Samoas. And I mean, who doesn't like Thin Mints? Like
Yeah.
everybody likes Thin Mints, right?
Frozen Thin Mints. Frozen Thin Mints. I've actually gone the route, and my family's kind of judged me on it. I actually so recently what I've kind of noticed I've started doing on some of these things is like I'll go, and especially when it comes to cookies, I'll go and say, okay, like, because I know a lot of these like private labeled like or generic versions of them are produced by similar big name box places. So
Right.
I'm always on the lookout and being like, okay,
For the
will
knockoff.
will the knockoff be just like as good as the original? And I recently bought dollar store Girl Scout cookies Thin Mints, and I put them in the
Okay.
freezer. They were I was like, I'm like, I wouldn't. I'm like, for the price, I'm like, I'd eat them. I'm like, they were good. They did the job. Now,
Well,
obviously, would I do that for like an Oreo? I've bought like the generic like Aldi Oreos or Publix Oreos. No, Oreo is the
yeah,
king cookie, and that's the only one that you only get
it's true.
Oreo.
Nothing tastes like that. Well, today, because I went to the dollar store looking for snack cakes, the dollar store has a knockoff of what I guess is probably Swiss rolls from Little Debbie and not Yodels, but you know, same look,
Yeah.
called Mrs. Freshly's.
Oh yes, I've
I
seen that.
took a
That's their
picture
like
of
I
it.
think that's their baked brand, right?
Yeah, and it was Mrs. Freshly's, and I don't know if they were called Swiss rolls or something, but it just made me laugh. The name made me laugh.
Did
They
you
had
did
snowballs there. But
Okay.
I have to tell you, snowballs were the ones that would get me because I was like, ooh, they're pink and they're coconut. And every time I ate them, I'd be like, but they suck. So I didn't bother getting them.
Because that's the snowballs were the ones that was like a chocolate cake, right?
Yes,
It was like the
with a
chocolate cake.
marshmallow coating
Yes.
and then pink coconut on the outside,
Yes.
like dyed pink shredded
I
coconut.
remember that. It would be
Looks
like, yeah.
really enticing, just not particularly good. And I'm just not gonna. I fell for it so many times when I was little. When I
Yeah.
was a kid, I'd be like, maybe this time I'll like it, but I gave up on snowballs. But I will tell you this: the Publix brand Thin Mint knockoff, which is thicker. It's
Okay.
like a big. If I remember correctly, last time I bought them, so good. But the Keebler grasshoppers, no,
No.
no.
Okay.
But try
No
the
to the
Publix
Keebler.
ones. That's your
I will
assignment.
try.
Next
I will
time,
try the
we'll have a
Publix
little
ones.
revisit. The Publix ones are good. They don't taste just like Thin Mints because they're bigger, but they are very tasty. I think they might be called. No, that's the other one. I don't know what they're called. They're chocolate mint cookies. Just get 'em.
Chocolate
They're
mint
good.
cookies. Okay.
Yeah, they were good.
I may do that. I may go do that one, and then I think Aldi also sells one. I may do
think
a taste
I
of both of them.
discovered this because I made an ice cream pie a few years ago using Kelly's ice cream, and I
Mhm.
had to crush up my own cookies, and I bought those because it was not Girl Scout season.
Yeah,
And then I was like, "Oh my god, who knew? These are really good."
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. What
Try them out.
Talking about snowballs, let's talk about like
Must we?
like
Must we?
not snowballs itself, but at least the kind of transition into the cake, like the tasty cake or cakes and like pastry style things. Was there like, so I know you liked Yodels was your big one.
Yodels, Drake's coffee cake. Love the
Okay.
Drake's coffee cake.
Yes,
And
because it had that cinnamon. It had like that crumble
Yeah, the
strudel on it.
crumbly stuff.
Oh man, that stuff was the good.
Those were so good. And I
Yeah.
saw Hostess's version of a coffee cake
Yes.
at Wawa, and I was like, what even is this weird alien sponge looking thing? I didn't even know what it was. It had no crumbs on it. How do
Yeah.
you even call that a coffee cake?
The
I
other
have opinions, Biggie.
No, I love these opinions. This is why we're talking about this, because you and I, it's funny because as I was doing research,
Entenmann does it right. They put the crumbs on the top.
they do. I do love a good coffee cake. That's, you can't, good I used to like the honey buns. I didn't, that really was like, it was never a go-to, but I would get it sometimes. My go-to, which is very funny because it does kind of go in line with how I am in life. My favorite Hostess thing, obviously I love apple pie, the apple pie cakes, the glazed cakes, but my favorite, Suzy Q. That
My
was my
best
favorite.
friend growing up, that was her go-to, was the Suzy Q. It was big,
Yes.
devil's food
Mm-hmm.
with the
And it was a
thing.
sandwich. It was literally a sandwich.
I prefer devil dogs to the Suzy Q.
What's funny is that's the whole idea. They created Suzy Q's to compete with the devil dog.
Yeah, I prefer devil dogs.
And devil dog, but they were made totally, they're both different. So I liked both of them.
They were very different.
Because one was more of the cakey sponge, which I think they just basically were like trying to figure out, like, okay, we already make the cupcake version. Let's just make the cupcake and fill it with the same cream and just keep duplicating it and changing it. The devil dog was its own animal, which is like obviously
was very
like
dry, but for some reason I liked it. I don't know.
I think very, very dry cake.
I don't know why I liked it, but I did.
Milk,
it still wasn't a yodel.
Sure.
The yodels were the best.
The yodels. They were chocolate covered as well, right? Like a Swiss cake roll.
This is what I wanted to tell you about before, but I waited. There was, and if my friend Ken is listening from college, we were obsessed. There was, and still might be, a snack cake called a chocodile. Do you remember these?
No, a chocodile.
Okay. A chocodile. It was essentially a chocolate-covered Twinkie, except that the cake was not like Twinkie cake. It was a yellow cake, but it wasn't like all spongy and moist. It was like a lighter cake. And so it was cream-filled, but with a light chocolate coating on it. And these things were awesome. And they really stopped making them. And every now and then, Ken and I would find them on different like road trips. This was like before cell phones really, but like to these days, if I was like on a road trip somewhere and I stopped into some random gas station and they had chocodiles, I would be like, no way. And I would take a picture and send it to Ken. Those things were so good.
It was. They're made by a Hostess. They're chocolate coated sponge cakes with creamy filling. Literally looks like you said, looks exactly like a Twinkie.
It did, but it wasn't a Twinkie. The cake was a little different. I don't know. Somebody from Hostess could probably explain this to us in like nerd level, and I'd be super interested to hear it too. I'd be like, fascinating, but it was really good. It was a great cake. So anybody out there who's listening to this, tell me if you know the chocodile and if you loved it. I loved the chocodile.
Is there any
snack cake?
So would that be your go-to? Like if you had to bring something back and be like, I want this back, what would be your, like if you had the call and be like, I can talk to someone and make this come back, what would be
I don't know. It would be tough. I would be like, foil wrapped Yodels. I would probably go that first. If they were foil wrapped. If they weren't, I might go chocodile. They were so good. Chocodiles were just
now really I want to get a chocodile. I want to try a chocodile and see what that is.
But I mean, Twinkies seemed like they were better, even though they weren't my favorite. Like I just seem to remember loving Twinkies, like liking them a lot. My friend used to have them at her house, so I would eat them there when I was a kid. And the last time I tasted one, which was not recently, I was still like, this doesn't taste the same, kind of like I did so I feel like they don't make them the same anymore.
I do agree with that. I do remember eating one. I actually bought a package so I can try it. I could open it and try it so we can see if my thoughts are the same. But
better you than me, my friend.
Ironically, so I did a little research on Twinkies. Originally, they were banana filled, but thanks to World War II, bananas became scarce, so they went to vanilla cream. The reason they even came up with the Twinkie was because of the fact that they were doing strawberry filled and using their like a filling machine.
Well, it is very much like the cake from Strawberry Shortcake.
Yes,
so that makes sense.
So they wanted to repurpose it, and they originally tried the strawberry, but no one liked it. So then they tried the banana and went that route. And then the reason it was called Twinkies was because I guess the person who created it, as they were driving, saw a sign that said Twinkle Toe Shoes, and they said Twinkie, and they thought that would be a fun name for it. But my favorite thing, which I thought about you because of the fact that you love these type of movies, and I do love this movie as well. In Zombieland, obviously Woody Harrelson, huge Twinkie guy,
right? And it's like the end of the world, so it's hard to find Twinkies.
However, few things to be made aware of. The longest shelf life, the shelf life for a Twinkie, 25 days, which I thought was interesting. Number 2 is that Woody Harrelson is vegan. And we obviously, we just did a vegan episode. We should have brought this up when we did the vegan episode. There's no dairy
in a Twinkie. I bet he's allowed to eat them.
They made his Twinkie out of cornmeal. So everything that you saw him eat was not a Twinkie. It was made like in a cornmeal shaped looking thing to make it look like a Twinkie, but he was never eating a Twinkie.
You're a big star when they'll make you your own custom vegan Twinkies.
Yes, and that's literally how they kind of work.
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I'm a fan. I like the second one too.
No, they were great. They were all great. I absolutely loved them. So yeah, those are some of the ones that I kind of always kind of was like, man, I'm like, that's so good. I'm gonna open one of these as you kind of talk about if there's any other, are there any other candies or anything else? Or is there anything now that you kind of eat that maybe through the years or like or you treat yourself to, you're like, wow, this still brings me back to my childhood?
Candy wise, I don't know. My daughter comes home with like a lot of the sour stuff, like the peach rings. But you know what I have tried recently? I went to Sprouts and I was actually going there to get something else. I can't remember what I was going to get. And they have those barrels and barrels of dried fruit and chocolate and whatever. And so as I'm walking by peripherally, I see chamoy gummy worms. And I was like, I got to try those. And so now I've learned that's how you make me care about something gummy is you put chamoy on it and I will eat it. They were really good. Really good. They had chamoy peach rings too, but I didn't try those.
The peach rings are good. I'm okay with some of the gummy bears. I will kind of sometimes do that. I know sour's
okay, but the chamoy
sour's a
made me want to
huge
eat
trend
more.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I took a bite of the Twinkie, a half a Twinkie.
All right, so let's hear it.
There's definitely an aftertaste in that cream.
Okay.
Like I just want to like scrape it off. I scrape it off my tongue. Definitely it does not taste what I think. I definitely think they changed recipes or something, maybe to make it more healthy or whatever it is.
Anybody out there who works for Hostess or Entenmann's, I want to know. I want to know about those donuts because those used to be really good and now they taste like wax.
So I used to actually, those little mini donuts, so you know, one of my favorite party things that I used to do, I used to buy a box of those, buy ice cream, and then I would slice them like a bagel, and then I would scoop a scoop of ice cream in it, and I would make little
sandwiches.
Little ice cream donut sandwiches is what I would make with them.
You know, ice cream sandwiches are good. They're universal good.
Now, obviously, I wouldn't put them as part of this treats because if I did, like that would automatically win. I think,
because it's a sandwich. Just because it's a sandwich.
Well, no, I just think they're amazing. Like I think
in the end, ice cream greater than candy.
Yes,
probably.
Yes, always,
you know,
always.
So that, and I don't even really. I like ice cream so much. I don't even really like it when they mix candy into my ice cream.
Really. Okay,
like I'll eat it, but I'm good with just ice cream.
Vanilla or chocolate?
Yes.
Okay. soft serve or scoopable?
Well, yes, but if we're talking Carvel, and I always want to talk about Carvel.
Yes.
And I'll use this platform as I have every other platform that I have to say, somebody please open a Carvel here.
There was a Carvel by Millennium Mall.
There was one in the airport too.
And I used to get my favorite thing ever. There is one in South Florida.
Yeah.
And I know because I freaked out because my friend for his birthday got Fudgy the Whale cake and a cookie puss.
And they bake them. They make them fresh.
Yes.
In the shop. So it's like fresh, super good. I mean, I still love the Carvel ice cream cakes. I'm grateful that I can get them at Publix. But
it's not the same.
It's not. It doesn't taste the same. It's not as good.
No.
And you go to Carvel, and I would either get once in a while. I would get the pistachio soft serve, which is so good, but vanilla soft serve with rainbow sprinkles, and they would just dump it right in the sprinkles, and it would be like covered in sprinkles. The best. And we would buy extra sprinkles, like so even more sprinkles.
So you can pour it on rainbow or chocolate.
Rainbow, always rainbow. And then I would bring those home, and whenever we would get a Carvel cake, we could pour sprinkles on the cake. I like Carvel.
I could tell.
Yeah,
I can tell. Fan. We may have to find. Have you had the Twisty Treat truck? That is around.
Not for a long time, but yeah, we had the Twisty Treat truck when I was.
Not Twisty Treat. Mr. Softy is what I meant to say.
Mr. Softy, I grew up with. It was great.
Yeah, there's a Mr. Softy in Central Florida.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I mean, I like Twisty Treat. It's fine. It's just not Carvel. I like it.
Correct.
I'll go. They have pistachio. That's what I get when I go there.
You get pistachio? That's your go-to?
I get pistachio when I go there. But whenever I'm in South Florida, I hit it, and I had frequent buyer card. There used to be a Carvel in Palm Harbor, and I'm over there enough that I would go every time I'm over there. And then it closed a few years ago. Yeah, that face. That was me. I was like,
Yeah.
"What? No."
I love that.
And now, like the closest Carvel is 3.5, 4 hours away, and it sucks.
That it is. That it does. And
One of the few things that I can say, Orlando really, really needs. Like, we have a lot of great food. We need a Carvel. Somebody.
You're like, there's like a lot of great ice cream here and a lot of small businesses, but I want that damn chain of Carvel to come back.
I like Carvel. I'm not going to apologize for it.
No,
I can
you
still
shouldn't.
like everybody else.
Heck yeah. No, I get it. I get it. I totally get it. Heck,
everybody else loves those, chicken. Everybody talks about Chick-fil-A and Popeyes. I like Carvel.
Yeah. All right, Central Florida, bring us a Carvel.
Bring us a Carvel.
So we can all enjoy Cookie Puss, Fudgy the Whale, and Amy Drew could have her pistachio vanilla, her pistachio ice cream.
I will eat that Carvel once a month on this show.
Carvel, if you'd like to sponsor us.
I'll go buy it. I just talk about.
I think it's funny because my ice cream place still is Dairy Queen.
97 degrees out. Sorry, I was distracted by this.
My ice cream place my ice cream chain is Dairy Queen because I love a good blizzard, which is funny because you don't like ice cream mixed with certain candies, and that's what I want.
It's fine. It's just Dairy Queen again. It's just I like Carvel. Frosties are all right. I would take my kids for Frosties, but no, it's just not. I love Carvel.
Besides that, you got any other final thoughts on our treat segment before we wrap up?
I don't know. Let's think of some local treats. Like, who do we shout out? Like, who do we love that's local? These are all kind of mass-produced things.
Local treats. I mean, do you have certain candies or certain things that you enjoy going and being able to have that you kind of like, hey, this is like a great little treat that I love to be able to enjoy and eat?
I'm thinking. I'm coming up short because it's just too spontaneous and I haven't had... I mean...
So I literally just had, which was good. I think I want to have it fresher because I got it and I didn't eat it till today, and I was in the 100-degree weather. But I did get to try some of the name of it is like Bang Bang Bakehouse.
Oh, Bang Bread.
No, Bang Bread is one that I've been wanting to have because I know you've written about, and I've been wanting to try her stuff. Bang Bread
is good. Those Rice Krispie treats are ridiculous.
Bang Bang Bakehouse, and they do like rum cakes in like containers in little jars.
Oh, okay.
And they're layered, and I want to have. I'm supposed to do an event soon, so they're going to be there. So I'm going to have a fresh one, so I'll be able to eat it as opposed to one that's been like in the heat in my backpack, in ice packs. I look forward to eating a fresh one, but it was good. It was a rum cake. I'm looking forward to trying that.
I like rum.
I'm all about, like, I don't know if there's like, I mean, obviously if we were talking about like treats that you can get, like you can't really go with chillin' tacos. You can't definitely go wrong with that. And again, that's kind of would be in our ice cream segment. When we talk ice cream, but I think that for a treat, like obviously being in Florida in the summer, you can't ever really go wrong with one of his ice cream tacos.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, like, future topic, pudding.
Pudding.
I like pudding.
I like pudding as well. We'll hold off on that.
Yes.
Leave us in your comments and thoughts. Do you have a favorite pudding or a pudding recipe that you use? And we'll definitely be able to talk about that.
Oh, I do. I have a favorite recipe that we can talk about. I do.
I got it. I'll write it down in our notes, and we'll make sure we have our topic about pudding.
It's 97 degrees out. People need pudding and ice cream. We should probably be talking about a lot of things that are cold for the next few episodes.
Just to make us to cool us down.
It's only hot. May, and it was like 97 out. What the heck?
Yeah. No. Well, that's our show. Definitely treat yourself. Get yourself a treat. I'd love to know in the comments. Leave us comments. I'd love to know what is something that you guys are having. Maybe there's something that we have failed to eat or enjoy that you think that we should try.
Yeah, give us some ideas. You know what's really good? I should say Sugar Rush, the marshmallow truck.
Oh, you can't go wrong with Sugar Rush.
And they've got like the cold hot thing going on.
They have the ice cream. They have the s'mores. They are summer. They are summer fun for sure. I just had something that they created. It was like it looked like a Death Star, and it was almost like a whoopie pie, but it was covered in chocolate. and it was
Doesn't
it
sound
had graham
terrible.
cracker and all that stuff. It is, yeah. They make their own graham crackers, their own marshmallows.
Yeah, they're good.
They're super delicious. You can, yes. There are some other ones. Undermade, another
Mhm.
marshmallow based. And obviously you could go to Peterbrook and get a lot of your favorite candies,
Gelato.
chocolate, yep, and gelato. Yeah, they do have a good gelato there as well. I actually did a sandwich eat up there, and they did gelato ice cream sandwiches there.
Oh,
It was good.
yes, to that.
It was good. Yes. Well, that's our show. Thank you so much for listening. You probably need to get something for your teeth for all the sweetness that we talked
Stay
about.
cool, eat sweet.
Yes, and we will see you next week. But thanks for listening, and keep tuning in, checking, subscribing, starring, and doing everything else just to help spread the word. But let's keep eating, Orlando.
Bye.